So this video is for my content creators. Content creators are going through a lot of mental health issues. We deal with a lot of societal pressure. We deal with a lot of family and friend pressure. And there's just a lot of judgment and things that come from this. And I got to experience somewhat both sides, the content creator side and the rap side because of legacy. So being able to see just how the public eye affects people is kind of crazy. And, Kai Cenat, I believe at the Streamer Awards last night, made this comment where he was like, he's just been focusing on his mental health and, building in that area. And I don't think people realize how real that is, especially for somebody like Kai, who is a, top creator. His anxiety levels is typically going to be higher than a normal person's, right? When the moment you get into social media, you get into anything in the public eye, you open yourself up to the judgment and the perception of the world, right? And that world includes the people that you care most about. It includes your parents. It includes your siblings. It includes your kids. It includes your girl. And, it's crazy enough because I'm almost certain I've lost women because of the content and stuff that I post, which it always creates like this ripple effect. I'm not going to say this ripple effect, but this, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? That it's like a pole that's not supposed to be there. It always just causes friction in certain relationships because people see the creator, but they don't necessarily see the human behind the creator. Now, there's always levels of authenticity and stuff like that we bring into our content to, create an identity and create our own voice. But truthfully speaking, you can never get the true depths of who somebody is. You can never truly articulate your own message in 60 seconds. You can even do like a long form podcast. 2 hours of you talking is not enough time for you to encapsulate your life, everything you've been through, and truly put your perspective into position. That takes a lot of time, and that takes somebody being there, consciously listening and present, to be able to understand why you may be acting certain ways or why you may be doing certain things. It's not being a content creator when you're very first starting. Right now, this is for my newer creators. Your judgment levels and dealing with the pressure is going to come from you thinking that you're not enough, right? You're going to be posting content typically that works or that you're passionate about, but the only reason why you're going to hesitate in that facet is because you're not getting the likes. And in the process of you not getting the likes and stuff that you want, you're also seeing all of the negative hate, all of the judgment from your friends and family because they're the first ones who see your content. It makes you kind of, hesitant. You aren't like so confident in yourself. I believe Speed had an instance like this where he was posting content and his mother didn't, agree to it. His mother wasn't very fond of it. I remember when I was growing up, even like recently, not like recent, but within like the last couple years, I'll be trying to make gaming content. I'll be trying to make my videos and stuff like that. But my mom I just don't think she understood the climate of gaming and YouTube and just being able to just chill. That's what it seems like, but really be making money. And I got forced to go to college. I got forced to do all these other things, that was deterring me from just being a full-time content creator because the people around me didn't understand. And as an adolescent, being like, I just want to make videos. Like, hey, I don't think I needed to get a job. Like, I think I can. I got hey, like this. Hey, I got like 200 followers right here. Like, oh my God, like this might work. Like, hey, mom, I got like 10,000 views. Like, you seem crazy. You get what I'm saying? You seem like, man, you're probably just wasting your time, or you're just like chasing like a vanity metric or something like that. But when you're creating out of purpose, those are always clear signs that like you're on the right path, because some people never get no type of growth. You get what I'm saying? Some people, not saying that that's not possible for them, but they just weren't doing the things that they needed to spark that reality. You were gave those cards and you were gave that gift. So that's God showing you that you are on the right path, because if you weren't on the right path, you wouldn't have saw no type of progression. You get what I'm saying? Content creation is more of this battle of self-awareness. Really paying attention to yourself and asking yourself, who am I? What do I truly care about? And where is this actually, where do I want this to get me to? And one of the things that I was practicing was this kind of like a manifestation practice, but it's also like a calming thing, where if you can calm yourself and become so present and become just so in tune to the point where you can feel the calmness of the reality that you're trying to get to, it helps you, it gives you the courage and the energy to go forward. What do I mean by this? Let's say, like for my instance, I'll be sitting there, right? I'll be in the car. Out of nowhere, I'll just get super duper calm. It just seems like all the thoughts in the world just like went away. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there. My Nissan symbol now looks like a Lamborghini symbol. I'm posting the content, but right now I may post content and I may feel anxious about it. I may be kind of worried and everything else. I was feeling the emotions of, I just posted content and just paid off all my bills. I just posted content and I got book sales going crazy. I just put like all the things I wanted to manifest and bring into my life through purpose and alignment. I was able to almost trick my brain into, you have that now. And the process of me saying I have that now brings a certain level of calmness. I want you guys to also look into this thing called the red string theory. The red string theory is, and I don't want to chop the literal definition, what it is, because it's a highly spiritual thing, but it's, in other words, you're always connected to certain things. If let's say there's a certain car that you want, or a certain, whatever, like for me, right? I'll give you clear examples of these things. So I feel like that's the best way I can, explain these. My red string theory, I saw it happen a couple of days ago, right? So I was spending all morning editing content, man. I sat there for like 8-9 hours just filming, editing, and scheduling. And I was getting kind of tired, but it was only like 3 p.m., right? So in the back of my head, I'm like, the responsible person in me tells me I probably need to go do Uber Eats or something like that, go make some more money, just so I can have like a little cushion so I don't feel like I'm wasting time. But then my spirit kept telling me, you already know you have a business that brings in income. You already know you have a gift and a purpose. Why not just continue doing what you're doing and then let the money come in when it's supposed to come in, right? So I sat with that for a second and I was like, okay. And let me remind you, this is also something that happened, earlier this month. So that's why I had that thought, like, you've already been shown this, because I just had that happen where I thought I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills, and then magical phone calls happen, But I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to go to the car and, just relax, try to, unwind for a second. So I thought I only had like $20 left to my name, right? I'm going to be honest with you. So I go and I open my Bank of America account and I see I got like $80. I'm like, oh, I have more money than I thought. You feel me? Because I wanted to go to the store. I wanted to get like a honey bun and like, something to drink and something like that. But I didn't want to actually, you feel me? I didn't want to just dub the 20 ball. So I checked and I was like, oh, I have more. That was God like showing me like a little small sign, like money is just a number. You can have anxiety and, be creating problems that's not there, because at any given moment, this number can go up or down. I've always been shown that, right? So I was like, okay, I'm walking to the store. I'm just kind of trying to just get my mind right? I go in the store, I pay for the food or pay for my chips and stuff like that. I walk out the store. I look over. Right here it was right on Crenshaw. Like this type of car had no business being on the corner by the Crenshaw Mall, right? It was a silver McLaren 720S. I believe it was a 720 because of the build. No, not 720, 570. I'm sorry. It was 570 because it looked kind of smaller and it wasn't as, you get what I'm saying. Any McLaren lover knows what I'm talking about. But I saw that and I was like, whoa. And that car always appears when I'm in high frequency energy. Like when I'm doing what I want and just living life somewhat freely, I see it. It always follows me when I'm aligned to something that's supposed to be for me. I always notice it because I always try to pay attention to what was I thinking about when I saw what I wanted, when I saw a future manifestation of mine, when I came into contact with it. What was I thinking? Where was I at? What was I doing? For instance, there's certain times in downtown, I remember like I said to my mom, like she was getting off the freeway, and I just had a feeling. I was like, I feel like there's a really nice car around me. And we was in traffic getting off on, the freeway right off Figueroa, off the 110. And then I say about 10 seconds later, you hear just coming down behind. I'm like, that's a McLaren. I already know what it is. I feel it. All I need. I felt it, and then I heard the engine. I'm like, I know it. I know a car's coming by. Within seconds, and you know how they stop hella fast because they got good brakes and stuff like that. So, I was in the car with my mom and my grandma, and I believe one of my sisters, or probably both of my sisters, right? And just kind of started laughing because I was like, see, like, I'm not crazy. Like, I can feel when the things that I want to attract are near me, which lets me know that it's already in tune. It's already a version. It's already, a reality, because I wouldn't have the emotional and energetic pull to these certain things as I do. So, I walked back to the house and, I walked back, got in the car, started eating my stuff. And then, people started coming up, talking to me, random neighbors just to be like, hey, I got this thing. Like, it was really just like my frequency and my energy raised the moment I relaxed into it, because a part of me was going to overwork. The whole point of that, why I started doubting myself, was because there's an underlying thing in me telling me what I'm doing is not enough and I need to overwork to take care of the bare necessities of what I have. Now, the higher vibration energy understood that I probably already did enough work for the day, and it was probably time for me to relax and rethink and regroup so I could be able to tackle my next set of tasks. But instead, I was going to let the anxiety and the fear take over and make me go do a job that I knew wasn't going to make me as much money as if I just continued sitting in my energy and being faithful and manifesting and building from the correct energy. Because you can manifest and build anything, but what are you choosing to manifest and build? And I was choosing content. I was choosing editing. I was choosing that field of work right there. So it was making me tired. And I was like I said, that anxiety was like, nah, you don't have enough time to be tired. You have enough time to go to work though. But it was like, okay, wait a minute. Realistically, didn't I already go to work? By sitting here filming, editing, and posting for 8 to 9 hours? Wasn't that the job? Wasn't that my mission? Wasn't that the income play? Do you get what I'm saying? Wasn't all of that aligned to what I already did? What is it in us that tells us that all because we haven't achieved yet, that we aren't deserving, or we have to overwork to prevent the reality of us not getting it? It's like all because we don't have it, we think we have to overwork to make sure that we actually get it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a protective mode instead of just being like, I believe I can get this. I believe that this is possible. And I know I'm putting in the work. I'm not going to stress about when it's going to work or how it's going to work, because I know I'm doing everything in my capacity to make sure that this type of thing manifests properly. Everything else kind of goes out the window. You fall into flow. It's the same thing with music. Man, my grandpa, like I tell you guys, in like so many of my videos, he put out the very first rap album in 1969 with the group called the Watts Prophets, rapping black in a white world and black voices on the streets in Watts. These things, you can Google these things, crazy enough. The facts is there. If I didn't delete my Instagram or deactivate my Instagram page, there would be picture. Go to his Instagram page rather. His celebrities, I run it. You get what I'm saying? So go there. The proof is in the pudding. I don't get on these videos and lie to you guys. I've had instances where, like, behind closed doors and mansions in the hills with producers who you guys literally listen to their music every day. I've shook hands. My phone has celebrities' phone numbers that's like A-list stars that some people would think is just like crazy and I can just call them. But recently I've been choosing not to because I've stepped away from the scene for mental health, right? That's why I'm doubling down on my YouTube and I'm doubling down on the content, actually believing in myself, because I was so deep into the artist scene and the rap scene that I was saying that a lot of these people are dealing with mental health issues. Dog, do you know how many people, truthfully, that they aren't happy with themselves? They're very anxious. They're dealing with a lot. There's just a lot of emotional turmoil on their path because they're trying to strive to be, effing Drake. You get what I'm saying? Like, and this subject right here is kind of touchy, and I'm gonna say this within itself, the need to be the best, the need to be number one, is why certain things, like why Kendrick did what he did. If Kendrick didn't feel the need to be number one, or have to one up it, or whatever the case may be, it wouldn't have been no diss songs. But not a lot of people like to acknowledge the egos underneath the art and creation that brings the mental health issues and brings the separation in these spaces that's unnecessary. You get what I'm saying? But back to the bigger picture, focusing on what you really want out of life is going to save you so much energy, and it's going to save you so much time. And then forgiving the people who doubted you. Now, one of the things that I will say, use the people who doubt you on this process as fuel to get further. Use it as, ammunition to get exactly where you want to get to. Because I'm the type of person, now this may be the evil, low vibrational side of me, I like making people eat that. Oh, you felt like that? I want you to feel I want you to look at me and your body shakes with fucking pity because you understand you fucked up. You get what I'm saying? I want you to understand I shouldn't have treated him like that. I want you to understand good ones actually do win. Maybe I was living my life a little bit messed up. I want you to understand that faith and God and actual love can get you so far that no amount of envy, jealousy, or even hustle can get you. I want you to look at me and be like, damn, he did that in a way that I didn't even think was possible. And respect it so deep you can't say shit, because that's real. Now, there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be naysayers on your path. We don't have no control over that, but we definitely have control over how we react and how we make this situation play out. Okay, cool. If you feel like how you feel, that's fine and dandy. I'd probably feel some type of way if that was true. You're telling me I don't make good music. I don't make good content. I'm not good at this. I'm not a good gamer, whatever the case may be. That would really get under my skin if I was sitting here getting spanked all day. But nigga, I'm up. I'm winning. I'm him. Fine. I don't care. It's just not your taste. You see, your self-esteem kind of goes up when you win. Your self-esteem goes up when you start seeing the results. Because it's like, oh, you're going to say what you want to say anyways. You're going to do what you want anyways. But I'm winning. I'm up. I'm on the trajectory of being a boss. You can't worry about that. And then when you are at that boss position, it's just an even more, it's like your worries almost seemingly go out the door. Not completely, but the worries that you was worried about at the beginning goes down, right? At the beginning, you were worried about what people thought. You were worried about, how you were being perceived. Once you actually win, you're still worried, but now you're worried about how this business person is perceiving you. If you're going to be able to close this contract, if you're going to be able to do X, Y, and Z, your worries change, but the worries still stay. Now, a little second part of this is kind of leaning more towards, identity and your purpose as a content creator and artist and everything, because a lot of us are multifaceted. A lot of us. The ability to be able to do something as simple as this, do talking head content, being able to set up a cinematic shot, edit it, articulate yourself, all that other type of stuff, that's a multifaceted individual. If you're writing your own music and, singing it and recording it, you're multifaceted. If you're doing anything other than just one thing in your life, you're multifaceted. That is going to be a curse and a blessing at the same time. Your multifacetedness is going to have a lot of people calling you chaotic. You don't have you don't know your path. You're not going to get anywhere. Everybody's going to tell you to focus on one thing, right? And it's going to make you kind of insecure, and it's going to make you silence or mute other characteristics of yourself because everybody's telling you it would be smart to focus on that one thing. However, The anomalies are usually the people who don't focus on that one thing. The anomalies are the ones who acknowledge every gift that they were gave and use it to its maximum capacity, right? For me, for instance, do you think I can easily go take some pictures? I can easily go make different pieces of content. I can do different things because I know how to use my camera. So instead of me just locking myself into one realm, why not utilize all of it and build an empire, build our own lane? And that's essentially what it is. When God gives you multiple gifts and multiple talents, he's telling you to create your own lane, because all of those gifts and all of those talents can usually be intertwined into one thing. And that intertwinedness, the moment you intertwine multiple different qualities into one space, that's what you typically start calling a brand. It's all these different elements, it's all these different things, all these little small pieces leading us to one big picture. Who are you? What's the product? What's the idea? The brand. Branding is very, oh my God, branding as a content creator is important. As a marketer, now, it's crazy because I said this part was going to be about, identity and stuff like this, but your branding is part of your identity, but your branding has to be intentional. Some people's brand, especially in the streamer space, is being themselves, right? But you have to always remember it doesn't matter what you do, you're building a brand. No matter what you do. So if you're not being intentional, you're going to be leaving a lot of gaps, which is okay because that means that you're being really, really, really authentic, right? But sometimes if you have a certain goal, you can be blocking yourself from that goal without realizing it. What do I mean by this? I might be spilling the beans, whatever the case may be. It is what it is. My grandfather smokes, right? He doesn't like having that type of image on the internet of him holding it, him smoking and doing all that other type of stuff, because it's his brand. You get what I'm saying? So even though everybody knows, everybody's like, this is who he is. It's not something that's out of the norm. He's not going to get on the camera and do it solely because he knows that interferes with his brand and his imaging. You really have to prove it or know him personally. You get what I'm saying? So he's really protected in that scene. That's what I'm talking about, branding. Or let's say with my content, I make a lot of emotionally vulnerable content. I make a lot of, revealing content. Sometimes I have to catch myself. Am I oversharing too much? Am I staying on brand? My goal, my initiative was to give solutions, was to give perspective, was to give outs to the mental health and to the situations. So when I'm making content, I can always, acknowledge when I'm not doing what I need to do or when I'm going haywire because I'm not talking in the right perspectives. I'm talking too much on me. I'm trauma dumping. The moment I see I'm trauma dumping, I can notice I'm going off brand, and that helps me create more topics of videos. When you know what you want, when you know who you are, it's so much easier to create what's true to you because things just flow off you. Things just kind of happen because you're making content that's true to you. But branding is one of those things you kind of have to learn over time. Like Snoop Dogg has an amazing brand. You see how I talked about my papa? He doesn't like the weed scene, but Snoop Dogg, on the other hand, he embraced the weed and the marijuana scene, and he actually gets brand sponsorships. He gets Kai Cenat did a stream with him where look, for instance, this is a perfect example of branding. Kai Cenat did a stream with Snoop Dogg, DJ Ghosts, Reggie, and somebody else, and they went out in a car. They went out in a van in the back and hotboxed. That wasn't a coincidence. Everybody knew. Oh, and it was Wiz Khalifa in there. That was an exhibit of branding. He got a whole bunch of weed smokers, right? Because that's their brand. Each one of them promotes themselves as smoking weed. Kai, as the smart content creator and branding and marketing and whatever, just the strategist that he is, saw that as an opportunity to get everybody in one space smoking, right? Now, the marketing underneath that, it would have been different if you just had them all on stream in the room smoking or something like that. They went to a car. They hotboxed a car to symbolize culture. That was a branding aspect. That was tying it to the younger generations too. That was tying it to a certain culture. That was branding that stream to fit the aesthetic of the market that they were trying to get to. Now, this may be a little bit of high level ism right there, but you get what I'm saying. Branding and marketing can be used to a T and to really amplify who you are as a person and as a creator or artist. But it comes down to if you're consciously aware of the branding that you're putting out, if you're consciously aware of how you may be perceived, and then being okay with how you may be perceived. Because, for instance, once again, let's take somebody like Snoop Dogg for a perfect example. There's a lot of people who despise weed. There's a lot of people who probably look at him like, we don't want to do business with you. We probably think you high, whatever. Because, like, literally probably taints his image, probably thinks he's a thug, everything like that. He has to be okay with the said group of people that does not support his community or does not support his fan base because he's being himself. But on the flip side of that, because life always comes down to a duality, there is no situation where there is only one truth. Once you look at the other side of the coin, he makes a shitload of money just off the fact he was being himself, just off the fact that he was able to get on his, make his music, smoke his weed, make his pounds, sell his merch, just be himself. Now now he can partner up with Cookies, an actual, legalized brand that can make him more money and revenue. He's getting paid for being himself. So once you can see, it doesn't matter what route I take, there's going to be haters and lover and supporters. And once you can accept the haters, you know what, you guys just aren't going to like my content. You guys just aren't going to like my music. You guys just aren't going to support my ideals or my perspectives. But that's a-okay, because there is, and it doesn't even matter if that said group of people is very niche and very small, you still have a community. And just like a lot of these marketers and people like Alex Hormozy and stuff like that say, when you start getting more into the marketing scene of things, you can't even have a fan base of 1,000 people. You can have 1,000 subscribers. You can have 1,000, followers on Instagram or something like that, and be making over six figures, multi 6 figures a year off that 1,000 followers. You get what I'm saying? It comes down to how are you leveraging, who are you talking to, and are you catering to the people that you want to cater to? Look at somebody like Face Swag Gamer. He caters to his community. He's yanking out gaming content. He understands who he's talking to, and he understands what they want. So all of his streams, he's not too busy trying to bring on rappers and different stars and stuff like that, because he knows that's not what his people wants. His people wants video game content. His people wants a little bit more of those vlogs, you feel me? His people wants certain things, so he's going to deliver those things. And there's going to be a whole group of people, hey, bro, why not just start doing regular streams? Just start doing just chattings, bro. It's so much more money over here. Why not just start doing IRL streams? And, why not just, start partnering up with... I'm pretty sure he's heard all of these things, but he understands that's not his brand, and he's okay with it. Now, I want to end this video off with the principle of self-belief, believing in yourself. Understanding adversity is normal. Understanding that adversity is a natural byproduct of whatever path you're going down. The adversity sometimes look like the slow numbers. Sometimes the adversity looks like you think you're stagnant. You think you're stagnant. Especially, and this is another thing too. You always have to remain optimistic and open. Your frequency has to always be open. You can be flopping. I mean, you can be tanking. Every single video, every single song you put out could just be getting looked over. And you will think that you're stuck. You will think that there's no way out. The open mind, the open perspective, the optimistic route would acknowledge, maybe I just haven't had the right idea. Maybe I haven't made the right song. Maybe I haven't made the right post. Maybe I haven't made the right, whatever the case may be. And you allow yourself to do something different. And you never know when that different idea, when that aligned thought comes to you, and it actually manifests the exact thing that you want. Social media is a very clear example of that. You can post one video and it will flop to the ground. Your very next video could skyrocket viral. That shows you that you were never stuck. If you posted for 3 years and nothing worked, and you decided to switch your approach just randomly one day and everything worked, did Does that mean that you were ever stuck? Or does that mean that you just weren't at the level to understand what you needed to do yet to get yourself out of the situation? Like you just weren't receptive to it. We are never stuck. We are never victims to our circumstances. We just either haven't did the right thing, said the right thing, asked the right person, whatever the case may be. It comes from aligned action. Sometimes you can't hustle your way into certain doors. Sometimes you have to, that's the route. You have to take a certain route to get it. But yeah, to go back into the self belief thing, just allow yourself the grace and the space and this, the ability to go after what you want and not beat yourself up in the process. You have to be able to look at your path. You have to be able to look at what you're going through. You have to be able to look at your life in totality and see the journey of where it's getting you from point A to point Z. When you look at where you are in the moment, because as humans, we are very analytical and we're a lot more present than we think. Our anxiety and our emotions tells us all these other type of things, but usually humans are very present and you're only judging yourself based upon right now. If you were to judge yourself based upon your past, you would also see that, okay, I also went through things, I also grew, but I also got to right here. So whatever I thought was holding me back, whatever I thought was an adversity or just a end all be all back then, if I'm still alive right here and I've at least moved one step forward, that lets me know that my future self in a couple more years, he's going to also be a couple steps forward. If not, a whole lot many steps forward, because once again, life changes. You have to see things in a bird's eye view. If you're stuck on where you're at right here, man, it's gonna feel like a lot. It's gonna feel like overbearing because you're just gonna feel the weight of the world on top of you. But once you take the bird's eye view, you're right here. You started right here, and you're trying to get to right here. All you have to do is look at the lessons and the mistakes and the blessings of right here to inform you on how to keep moving forward to get to right here. It's a solution headspace, not so much of a anxiety, fear-driven, lack of abundance headspace. It's a clear clarity. I just need to keep walking forward. I just need to keep putting one step in front of the other. In the process of me putting one step in front of the other and not beating myself up, that's the key. Put one step in front of the other while having fun. And then the fun mixed with discipline manifests results. I'm telling you, fun and discipline go together like a macchiato and whipped cream. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? You had those two things are like the beautiful combo to getting closer, because a lot of people are disciplined. A lot of people put in that hard work, but then they start feeling bad and sorry about themselves because they haven't manifested the things that they want, and that taints their energy. And when your energy's tainted, you're not going to execute on the right ideas, or you're probably not going to do it how you really wanted it to, because your self-esteem is being tanked. But when you're operating from a fun energy, you're doing it to the best of your ability because it's something that you really want to do. It's your passion. And you have the work ethic to implement that passion into reality. That's how you get what you want. I'm telling you. And a lot of people don't get what they want by being disciplined and, just stressed out. It's usually the disciplined, fun, flow state that gets people exactly what they want. So with that being said, I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Take care of your mental health as a creator, artist. Take care of your being. Take care of your spirit. I'm going to see y'all in the next video, man. I love y'all.